Well, good evening. Don Palaio checking in again. This is still Monday. We are Monday, June 9th. I am here, just went through the mall. I'm in the parking garage right now at the local mall. It's been kind of a busy day. I've been getting out, getting around. So it looks like the Marines are going into Los Angeles now. I'm sorry. The United States, we've got a lot of problems here in the United States, and I agree. We really, especially the more violent and more criminal element of the migrants, need to leave. And I think that's the ones they are trying to get out. I from what I heard, the migrants that they were mostly arresting there in California were people that had other crimes besides being here illegally. Talking about, rape, murder, different kinds of crimes that these people had committed. So I don't know. It's just, America's got to get its act together. We're going to lose our position, in the world if we don't get our crap together. It's like, imagine what the rest of the world is seeing when they see all this. It's not that the rest of the world is perfect. The rest of the world has their problems too. Europe is a mess with immigration. But then you think about Asia, and Asia's got its problems, but if we don't get our act together, Asia's going to take over the leadership of the world over us. I don't know. Americans got to wake up, and we got to quit being so divided about everything. It's like if one side feels a way about the other side feels like they have to be opposite of the other side, and it's like they just have to disagree with the other side. It's like, can't we all agree that at least the criminal, the people that are here illegally, that have committed other crimes while being here, can't we all agree that those people need to go? They either need to be in prison here or they need to be sent back home and let their nations take care of them. I just don't feel, especially those people, then we get those people out, then we can start looking at the people that are here, the immigrants that are here, they're working, they're law-abiding, they're not causing trouble. Then we can start looking at those people, right? And maybe finding a way of trying to get them legal. I'm willing to bend a little on that. It's like, I just want all the criminal element, the drug dealing, the cartel people, the Hispanic gang people, they all need to be gone. They don't need to be in the United States. We need them all gone. And the law-abiding Latinos, the ones that are here to work and raise their families and they want a good life, I have no issues with them being here. It's just, we need to have control over our southern border. We need to control who is coming in here, what is coming in here, and talking about like narcotics and things like that. We need to have control over that. It's a mess. It's a mess. So hopefully we can get this resolved. It's like now, Trump is saying, the California governor needs to be arrested. It's like, come on, guys, come on. It's like, anyway, it's all frustrating. It's some of this stuff is just so frustrating to me. It's like, but of course, Newsom was talking about withholding taxes. It's like, look, we got to get the criminals out of here. To me, that should be an easy thing for Republicans and Democrats to agree on. Can we at least agree that the criminal element of the migrants that are here need to go? That should be, both sides should agree with that. I don't understand why Democrats would want to have other criminals, people that have committed other crimes here in the United States. Why would you want them here? Why? For what? Why would you want criminals here? It's like, I don't understand that. So, I don't know. It's just all frustrating. I am, getting ready to I'm going to go pick up one of my friends. I have a friend that's staying here in Jacksonville, and they're gonna hang with me for a while tonight. She's kind of in between places, needs a place to crash. I've got a hotel room here with 2 beds, so she can crash in the other bed. I've known her for a long time. We're just friends. We're we've known each other for about 10 years, and that's all it's ever going to be. So she calls me her brother a lot of times. We've known each other for a long time, but she's the place where she's staying right now is she's not as comfortable there as she'd like to be. It's a little bit she's wanting to find my hotel room's a little bit nicer, a little cleaner, I think. So anyway, so she's gonna be crashing with me. She's planning on. She's originally her family or her ethnicity. She's originally from Russia, and so it's kind of funny. I have this Russian family that they're friends of mine. I've gone to their house and had Christmas dinner with them. I've hung out with them a few times, and so I get a little bit of the story, about how things are in Russia. And she's actually planning to move to Russia in the next few months. She's been talking about it for a while. She's frustrated with life here in the United States. She just feels like it's just work, and you just, it's just, you guys know how it is. And her family owns a few properties over in Russia, and she could move over there and move into one of those properties there, and she'd have a home paid for, that's so. I could kind of understand it, although I don't personally. I wouldn't want to be living in Russia right now, especially as a guy. I guess as a girl, it's not quite so bad. You don't have to be worried about being thrown out there on the lines, but still, there's a lot going on over there. Anyway, I'm gonna get down the road here in a minute, but. A lot going on right now, you guys. I'm happy that I moved a lot of my IRA into metals. I've got about 60% of my IRA right now in gold and silver. Actually, a little bit of copper miners too. I've got some copper miner stocks in there, so I've got gold, silver, copper all kind of in my IRA, and they've been doing pretty well. Silver's actually been outperforming here lately, and I've got a good 60% of my IRA in metals. So I do still have some stock exposure. I still have mostly in growth stocks. I just don't know where the markets are headed. I feel like the stock market is overvalued. The only reason the market is where it is right now is because of the Federal Reserve and what the Federal Reserve's been doing. I mean, they've been manipulating it. I mean, it's obvious. The Federal Reserve is manipulating the markets by just constantly pumping out more liquidity, more money. If they were to stop doing that, and that's what's causing all the inflation. That's what's caused all the inflation. I don't know if they're going to be able to stop doing that. So the fact that they're not going to stop doing that just leads me to believe that precious metals still have a way to run. I think we'll see silver at $50 an ounce. Maybe not by the end of the year, but maybe mid part of next year. I could almost see it being around $50 an ounce. Gold, I could see it crossing 4,000. It may. I've heard some people saying 5,000. Gold's been pulling back a little bit. I think governments have bought a lot of it, but I think they are kind of slowing down on their acquisitions. Silver is just needed so much more in industry, electronics and things. It conducts electricity very, very well, and because of that, it's highly valued in electronics, and so it's got the value based on the precious metal, but it's also valuable in terms of manufacturing and electronics. I think if I were to buy more precious metals, I'd be stacking more silver. I might wind up putting more silver in there. I like having some, stock exposure, but right now I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't know about the stock market right now. It's like a lot of the stock market growth recently has been in the top 7 to 10 companies. The biggest tech companies in the United States. That's where almost a lot of the growth has been in the S&P 500. Has been those top 10 stocks, let's call it. Your Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Facebook, Google, those guys, Netflix, those kind of companies, and that's where all the growth's been. It's been in those top few companies, and it's like we need broader, more robust growth through the rest of the economy. I'd like to see more small cap companies growing and more small and mid cap companies growing, and I just don't know. I feel like I don't really see that as maybe as much, and I do pay attention. I do look at the markets. I'm watching for things like that. I'm looking for opportunities in those areas, in those spaces, and it's just very slim pickings. I do have one area where I'm very keenly watching, which is in quantum computing. If you're not familiar with quantum computing, it's very cutting edge in terms of tech. Most of you have heard about AI by now. Quantum computing is kind of the next step beyond AI. It's very advanced computers that are able to perform functions that a normal computer would take it, hours and hours and hours, to perform, to compute something. These quantum computers can do it like in a few seconds. And so they're very high powered computers, and there's a couple of good companies out there doing that right now. A couple that I've been watching, there's one called Rigetti, and there's another one called D-Wave. And D-Wave I've been trading in and out of lately. Recently it spiked, because when I first got into it, it was around like $5 a share, and it spiked up to $19 a share. I sold out I think I sold around 18 something, and it's gone down. It's like around, I think it's around 16, 17 right now. It might have gone back up to 18 actually. Around $17, $18 a share right now. I am waiting to see that drop back under 15, and if it goes back under 15, I'll buy back in. But it's one of those stocks I've been kind of trading it. The company's got a lot of promise, because D-Wave actually has computers out there that they're commercially available. Most of these computers are used by businesses, by corporations, by universities, things like that. But they're commercially available. A lot of these companies are still very much in development phase and trying to develop these computers, while meanwhile D-Wave is actually making money selling them. So it's a space that's still probably another 5 years out, before we're really going to be hearing a lot more about it. But this might be a good time, at least, to pick up a little bit. You can pick up 100 shares of a couple of these for fairly decent price right now. 5-10 years from now, I don't know. Sometimes people look for those opportunities. That's a good opportunity. I'm, again, not giving financial advice. I'm not promising anything. This is very high risk. So don't say, oh, but you said, don't. No, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. This is a very speculative area, so it's very cutting edge. And in any kind of investment, you have to really look into it yourself, read about it. Again, this is money. I don't put a lot into it. It's just a very small fraction of my IRA that I've held that stock in there. But I think there's a lot of volatility. When you find a space where there's a lot of volatility, it's a good place to buy and sell. You know, try to catch it low and then sell it when it gets a little too high. And you could just trade that one stock back and forth for a while. And that's kind of what I've been doing with it. But I feel like it might be a stock that at some point I may want to hold it. You know, we'll see. But in the meantime, I can pick up some good gains just trading in and out of that stock. Anyway, I am going to get down the road at 7:30. I'm really looking forward to seeing my daughter again tomorrow. We're going to be hanging tomorrow. We might go to the zoo tomorrow, see what she wants to do. Trying to find some good things to do with my 13-year-old daughter. It's like she's at this point where she's really kind of in between, you know. It's like she's a teenager technically, but she still has some childhood, you know, some little girl still in her, you know. And it's kind of a weird space, because you want to find things that she enjoys doing, and it's like, you know, it used to be easy, you know, I'd play dolls with her or whatever when she was a little girl, but now she's 13, and it's like, well, you know, it's like, we'll find something to do, I'm sure, but she's definitely growing up a lot faster than I expected. It's like, I remember, you know, my oldest daughter, you know, she grew up fast too, and it was like, but it seems like my youngest is moving even faster. It's like, geez, man, I'm getting old. I do. I feel like I'm feeling really old seeing my daughters growing up as fast as they are. I'm going to, I need to shave. I picked up some shaving cream. I brought my razor with me, but I didn't bring any shaving cream with me, so I picked up some shaving cream today. I'll shave for, you know, in the morning probably after my shower. So anyway, you guys have a good evening. I will probably check in a little later on, either tomorrow or maybe Wednesday. We'll see. This is Don Pelayo checking out.